This is the Great Ethiopian Renaissance Dam, and it could start Africa's biggest modern war. This project could be so dangerous that Ethiopia kept the plans secret up until the moment they were ready to start building, under the codename Project X. But before we get to that, we need to understand Ethiopia's perspective and why this dam is so important to them. After 10 years of construction, it stands as Africa's largest dam and the 8th largest in the world. In February this year, it supplied millions of people with electricity for the first time. And that is only a fraction of what it will be capable of when fully operational. In the near future, at its full potential, it will provide electricity for over 100 million Ethiopians. I don't have to say this, but stable electricity is quite important. Here's the thing. Imagine you're Ethiopia and you want to provide more for your people. You want them to have a better life. Well, this is a crucial part of that. Not only will it make life easier for people that will be able to use it at home, with stable electricity, you're able to have more investment in factories that will provide better paying jobs for everyday people. Also, it will significantly increase food production because now farms, big and small, will be able to use more advanced technologies. With stable electricity, your people will be able to preserve food and medicine. So yeah, there is no doubt, this dam is a game changer. And look, it gets even better. This dam is so big that it will produce more electricity than Ethiopia needs. And that means it can export it to other countries. This will not only allow Ethiopia to earn money, but it will give the same benefits of a stable electrical supply to neighboring countries. And that will give their citizens better lives and help them grow. Now you're thinking all of this sounds pretty amazing. Well, what if I told you that there are two more things that are fantastic about this dam? First, the financing, and I'm personally very impressed by this. A part of the financing came directly from the citizens. They would buy bonds that are used to build up this dam, and when completed, they will be paid back. So a lot of them are even directly invested in this dam. And this also shows us how much they feel that they need this and how they want it to work. And then there is one more important fact. All of this energy is green, renewable. It will produce so much green energy not only for themselves, but also for their neighbors. So Ethiopia, with very, very limited resources, managed to do something that almost every advanced economy is failing to do. So this dam is not only saving millions of lives, but it's also fighting climate change in the process. Much more efficiently than some other richer countries. Let me just say that. Improving almost 200 million lives, giving jobs, economic growth, security. Africa will be significantly better because of it. But there is one problem, and to understand it, we just have to look at this situation from a different perspective. In 2013, the Egyptian president and some of his closest colleagues were filmed and broadcasted on accident. They were discussing possible ways of destroying the dam. Three things were considered: using airstrikes, sending in the military, and funding rebel groups within Ethiopia. Why? Why would they be ready to risk a war? Well, for that, we would have to understand the Egyptian perspective. This dam is not on any river, it's on the Blue Nile. And you know how we usually associate the Nile with Egypt? Well, 80% of that water that flows through the country of Egypt comes through here. It will go through this dam. For thousands of years, the Egyptian civilization was tied to the Nile. And today, it's not much different. The vast majority of the country lives near the river. Without the Nile, there is no Egypt. This is where the country gets almost all of the water that it uses for drinking, farming, and industry. Without it, Egypt can't survive, and they're aware of that. So for them, this dam could be an existential threat. There are two things that Egypt is afraid of. First, that in the future, Ethiopia could use this dam as a weapon of mass destruction. Because against Egypt or Sudan, it could be. It could stop the flow of the Nile for a long period of time. So the fear is that whenever Egypt and Ethiopia have a disagreement, Ethiopia could use the threat of the dam as leverage and get whatever it wants. Or even worse, if their relations are really bad, Ethiopia could block off the Nile, essentially starving Egypt of water. And here's the second thing that worries Egypt. Dams have something that is called a reservoir, and it needs to be filled. These are basically man-made lakes upstream of a dam. They store massive amounts of water, and they're necessary in order for hydroelectric dams to work at full capacity. And this reservoir is one of the biggest on the planet. So here, the two countries have opposite interests. Ethiopia wants to fill it as fast as possible so that it could start producing electricity at full capacity. Now, of course, they would not do it in a year. That would be pretty much a declaration of war to Egypt and Sudan. But they would like to do it in a period of 3 to 5 years. On the other hand, Egypt wants the opposite. If the dam has to be built, they want the filling of the reservoir to take 10 years so that there isn't significant harm done to them. Because it would be easier to manage 10 years with slightly less water than 4 years with significantly less. For a couple of years, the situation was looking quite optimistic. Egypt, Ethiopia, and Sudan were negotiating together on how to handle this issue, and Sudan was quite supportive of the construction. The country recognized that the dam could both give it a source of electricity and help prevent flooding. But an agreement was not made, and as Ethiopia started filling the reservoir, tensions have been rising. And in the following years, if there is a water crisis in Egypt, it's possible that their government will think that they have no other option than to act. This could mean funding rebels, conducting airstrikes, or even sending their ground forces. And this would be a disaster for everyone involved. So what's the solution? Well, in a way it's simple, but it's not easy. The three countries, Ethiopia, Sudan, and Egypt, first need to understand the other's perspective. And then they need to work together. Egypt needs to realize that this dam is necessary for the people of Ethiopia. It will give millions better lives, and it will help out the region as a whole. And Ethiopia needs to understand Sudan and Egypt better. Their existence is tied to that river. So, of course, they're afraid. It's natural that they want guarantees that this dam cannot be used as a weapon against them. And all three countries need to realize one important thing. The cost of conflict is too high. If war does happen, there won't be any winners. The consequences will be famine, suffering, and death. Nothing more. But seriously, what a unique situation. A water crisis is bringing countries closer to war. What are the chances of that happening anywhere else on the planet? Oh no. Okay, but it's a dam. So a dam is bringing countries closer to war. That's very specific. That must be unique. Oh no! Almost as if there is an underlying issue that is making all of this a lot worse, and we as humanity have not done enough to address it. And among other things, the future consequences will be more droughts and water shortages that will lead to conflict. But on the other hand, I really believe that the three countries could work together. If France and Germany can do it after hundreds of years of conflict, I'm sure it's possible for Egypt, Ethiopia, and Sudan. And who knows, if they come to an agreement here, maybe in the future they will become great friends and allies. And they could work together on making lives better for their people. Because that's the way countries move forward. And although there are challenges, I'm sure they can do it. And here's my desire for the region. I want Egypt, Ethiopia, and Sudan to be like these three dogs on a car. See, they're best friends, and they're standing on a car, which can be a symbol of moving forward. Okay, sorry, I was just looking for an excuse to include this amazing video of three friendly dogs on a car. Editing is a painful process, and this is the only thing that brought me joy in the last I don't know how many hours. Thanks for watching. Keep in mind that I could be wrong about different things. I try to do my very best with these videos, but it's always good to do your own research. And if you want to support a small channel, consider subscribing. Every time I get a new subscriber or read a nice comment, it really helps motivate me so that I can withstand the terrible tragedy that is known as editing a YouTube video. Also, YouTube says that you would love these videos. I have no idea if the algorithm is right. Maybe you would hate these videos. But there's only one way to find out. Jokes aside, thanks for watching and I hope you have a wonderful day.